I've got a half sheet of watercolor paper and I've drawn a pencil line across about the 1/3 mark, and then I'm adding a lot of water, just wetting the whole top half of my sky, completely wetting it. Now this is a really old piece of watercolor paper, painted on the back of it quite a while ago. It's been sitting in my drawer a long time, and I can see that that water is already going into the page. That's a problem with old watercolor paper. I'm now going to leave a gap, a couple of centimeters, and put water down the bottom. So the problem with painting with old watercolor paper is that the sizing, I don't know, does it crack off? Does it dissolve? Somehow it seems to no longer be on the surface of the paper. If anyone knows why that is on old watercolor paper, I'd love to hear from you, or what your theory is on that. Anyway, I've got masses of water. I'm going to dump my big brush. I've got Prussian blue that I'm going to drag beautifully across the middle, and it does all that fabulous rushing up to the top. I'm going to grab some more and do the exact same thing on the bottom. Now, I got this idea from a book that a student brought in recently, and I'll put all the details down below to the author's name, because it's a really wonderful book full of really easy landscapes and flowers and a range of stuff, but it's designed completely for beginners, and it really is designed for beginners. So many books claim it's for beginners, but you do the exercise and realize that that's just not true. I'm tipping off all the excess moisture and just encouraging that paint to flow and move. I love it when the watercolor does this. This is such part of the joy of painting in watercolor, is that you get to tip the page about and watch the paint flow. That's the other advantage to watercolor, is within a minute I have covered a huge amount of surface area. So it's not traveling up to there. I need to put in some more paint and encourage it to flow upwards. And if it's not traveling as fast as I'd like, could be that it's a bit dry up there, but I'm just spraying it so that it travels a bit further, leaving really beautiful marks on it too. Just get it to go up the top of the page. Once I read the book and the instructions on how to paint this one, I realized that I've seen many people do it, so it's really difficult to know who actually was the first person to come up with this wonderful idea. So this colour that I'm using now is called Vulcan Red. It's a Schminke super granulating watercolour, and it's like a reddish brown, and I haven't bothered to wash my brush. Quite beautiful, mixed with the blue, which is a fantastic sign. Now I'm going to just paint that middle section. I might drag the brush back a bit. I want it to hit the bottom and hit the top, and I was really kind of expecting that to explode, and it hasn't. So I need to make the Schminke paint a little more watery, I think. I want it to hit and travel, hit and travel, and it's not doing it. So different pigments will work differently on your page. So is that I'm using older watercolor paper? Is it that the Schminke was a bit thick? These are the things you just need to experiment with. Now the next step that the artist suggests in this book is that you add a stack of salt. But I noticed when I sprayed a second ago that I don't need to use salt. I'm just going to use a really big water bottle and see if I can get away with water. If it's up there, I want it down there. Up there, it's down there. And up there, down there. Oh, that was too much. I really wanted droplets. But I want it to just slowly expand. And then I'm going to let it just dry, just like that. I don't really want to tip these dots because they'll move and become something other than an organic looking shape. Though it does present a problem because I've got a big pool up here, so I need to control that. And I've got water all around the edges, so it's sitting in water and I need to control that as well. So grab some tissues, just deal with that. And without tipping it too much, run my tissue underneath. Just carefully mopping the excess so that it doesn't give me a big back run later on. So what the artist suggests at this point is that you allow that to completely dry and then pick out some of these starbursts and trace around them. I'm going to skip that step. I don't love that idea. I'm just going to vary it. So I've got these watercolor crayons that I've had for ages and haven't used. So perfect opportunity because I'm playing with the surface. And I might pick an orange and see if something lovely happens while it's in this beautiful damp state. So that looks a little bit like a tree shape. So as soon as I've done something on the top here, I need to suggest that there's a reflection. So I'm going to bring it down the bottom and do a reflection, but much lighter. I feel like I've missed a bit around there. So I was just pressing really lightly for the tree on the bottom, which I was attempting a version of what's up the top. I think this one is bigger, so I think I'll make it a bit longer. Like that. Maybe that goes off the edge. Okay, one tree. And then I'm going to, it's not really a very dark colour, so I might switch to a brown. They're really nice to use though, these watercolour crayons. Now I'm looking for another shape that looks a little bit like a tree or a bush kind of shape. Maybe I'll do a small one. And again, on the bottom, I'm going to try and repeat it, but press lightly, Just make that a bit fatter to make a little more sense of that. So since I've put some of that red there, I'm going to add a little bit over here, orange into this one. Just a little touch there. I'm loving the red, so I think I'll do a little bit more. Maybe there's a little tiny one here. And again, a reflection. It's very central, so perhaps I'll add a little, another colour. Oh, there's a green here. It's broken, but it doesn't matter. A little bit of green, a little bit of green, and then I'll add a bit of green to this and a bit of green to that. I like the idea that you carry the colours over. That's that one there. And so a bit more green. Right, and then I'm just thinking about whether I don't want a third one because that would just be too even. So I could put in some smaller ones there, or maybe a taller one there, or maybe a bush shape. Oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to use the side of the brush and create a roundish kind of shape, and again lightly suggest a reflection. Grab the red and put in a little bit of a structure in it. And there. Yes, that's a nice variation, that shape. I quite like that green on the side. I think I'll put in a little bit more. And this one would go there. And I could put in a little bit green there. Oh, it's lovely and wet over there, so I can't resist just adding a little bit of something. It's so much easier if you do it exactly the same time, because you've kind of got in your mind what the shape that you're creating. And then I'm going to let it dry, and I'm actually done. There isn't much more that you do to it. It's just an abstract landscape that took such a short amount of time to create. So now I'm going to make sure that I put in the description below some details about the book. So the book is called Watercolor is for Everyone, and the author's name is Kateri Ewing. I'll put the details down below, and if I find a link, I'll post that in the description as well. I'm going to sign it with that lovely red. Is it dry enough? It's just a tiny bit damp, but that's just fine. I'm going to grab this red crayon and sign it now. Marion Chapman. I can do quite a large signature because it's a larger painting. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Please give me a thumbs up if you got anything out of the video. Bye guys.